Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad that you have joined me here tonight on why not use a microwave and what to use instead. So, I'm Erleen Tilton, and I have worked with whole foods, healthy eating, and natural solutions for literally over 40 years. This is a passion of mine because I look out in the world and I see so many people that are struggling. And sometimes we don't understand why. There's so many factors that really play a part in having a healthy body and a healthy system. And not one thing will break you or make you. Usually it's usually a combination of things. And why I chose to teach this class tonight simply is because microwaves are common. We have become accustomed to using them, and we don't realize the damage that we're doing to our bodies, as well as definitely the food that we're eating. And so I really wanted to share this information that will help you hopefully make some steps to eliminate a microwave and include other methods of cooking instead. So, when microwave ovens first came out, do you know what they were called? They were called radar ranges or a radiation oven. This is really kind of interesting as we understand that there's some concerns around the microwave. And as I go through this presentation, I'm going to share with you so many concerns, because what we understand about the microwave really is it is radiation, and it's radiating our food. And this is a concern. We know that radiation is not good. We are around radiation. We know radiation affects us in a negative way. So we need to decide or learn why not use a microwave. So I will be honest, as I looked out there on the information that is available today versus even 20 years ago, I was appalled to see many doctors say they're not concerned. There's a lot of concerns, but there are many people, and including doctors, that say it's not a concern, that actually it cooks in a short amount of time, and our foods are really okay. So why is there concerns for using a microwave oven? I just wanted to go through a few steps with you so that you can understand this a little bit more. And I like to just share this information right out with you so you really understand this. So number one, a microwave heat is not real heat. So we know that the short waves is cooking our food, but it's forcing those atoms, molecules, and cells within the food to vibrate rapidly, billions of times per second. This friction moves the molecules, which creates the heat, yet actually deforms the molecular structure of the food, destroying the vital nutrients. So if your cells are being fed deformed food molecules, how do you think it might affect your cellular structure? To me, this was really puzzling when I heard this and read this and have learned this over the years. We're really eating deformed food, and how can that really support our cells? It's our cells struggle with eating microwave food, even microwaved water, because again, it changes the cellular structure and does affect it in a negative way. Number two is microwave foods alter blood chemistry. Now, there was a study by Dr. Han Hertel, who was from Switzerland, a scientist and biologist. Actually, he took 8 subjects that were living in a controlled environment for 8 weeks, and some of them were eating microwave foods, some of them were eating cooked foods. They had little else, okay? So it was kind of the microwave food or the cooked food. And after each meal, he drew blood from each of these subjects for testing, and he found that those that ate the microwave food showed altered blood chemistry. So you can even see it in the drawing of the blood under a microscope. You can see that it does change your blood chemistry. Number 3 is microwave ovens destroy the essentials. So the research shows, and if you look at this, it destroys the life force that gives food its vitality and nourishment. It causes structural disintegration, actually losing 60 to 90% of the vital nutrients in the food. It lowers your resistance to disease and your body's ability to utilize essential vitamins and minerals. So think about this. If a microwave can just actually whip every cell within range back and forth all these billions of times per second, producing shaker cell syndrome, as one writer put it, how can it nourish your body and cells? So it really does destroy these vital nutrients and your ability to absorb nutrients. Number 4 is microwaving can actually cause cancer. Now, especially we've learned that there's carcinogens that are formed in microwave foods. And actually they've found that especially your starches and your sugars, those are the highest things that it can actually create carcinogens. And you look at what most people are microwaving, they're microwaving fast foods, which is refined sugars, refined carbs, refined fats. And this is where the carcinogens are formed with these types of foods specifically. So you can see heated at high temperatures. This is research according to the International Agency for Research on Cancer. Okay, number 5, and this to me is really, really huge. Microwaving in plastics is also a huge cancer risk and health risk as well. So most people don't understand that the plastics that they're microwaving in contain chemicals called phthalates, which are released into your food when they're heated up. So not only that, phthalates have been found to disrupt hormones, our metabolic system, increase blood pressure, increase insulin resistance, increase the risk of diabetes, hypertension, and it's linked to infertility, asthma, and ADHD. So a research done in 2011 tested more than 400 different types of plastic containers designed to contain food, and they put them in the microwave oven. The majority of them actually leak chemicals into the food when they microwave. So I have a personal story about this. I have a personal acquaintance who actually went to work every day. She took a bag of vegetables in a plastic bag, and she thought, this is a great choice. Just put it in the microwave for lunch and add salt and pepper, a little butter on it. And that was her lunch. She thought she was getting a good vegetable meal, and she began having migraines. Well, research, going to doctors, they finally figured it out. It was her microwave food. After she quit doing that and microwaving and plastic or microwaving, period, her migraines went away. So that helps you understand, and that's always been interesting to me. Why are we microwaving in plastic, as harmful as it is, but yet most people are doing it and think nothing of it? Now, number 6, this kind of blew me away when I understood that the top cancer-causing food is actually microwave popcorn. Wow. People think that they're sitting down to a healthy snack at, TV time or whatever with microwave popcorn, and it's the number 1 top cancer causing food. And the interesting thing is it's not necessarily, even though it is microwaved and there's a lot of unhealthy ingredients in it, it's actually a chemical that's lined within the popcorn bags. I'm going to not try to pronounce this, PFOA for short, but it's a toxin that's also found in Teflon, pizza boxes, sandwich wrappers, and a lot of other food wrappings, especially the plastics. And they found that a lot of studies have looked to there's a lot of foods and a lot of exposure to this PFOA, and it does significantly increase the risk of kidney, bladder, liver, pancreas, and testicular cancers. So I thought that was really kind of interesting to see that this is one of the top cancer causing foods. And we can definitely avoid microwave popcorn. This is kind of interesting, isn't it? So basically, just to summarize this, microwaving your foods can alter the molecular structure, leaving your food with deformed molecules. It lowers your resistance to disease. It lowers your vitamins and mineral intake. It feeds your cells cancer-causing agents. It can increase cancer and other health risks and destroy your health at the DNA level. So wouldn't it make sense to cook foods in other ways? So I wanted to share with you tonight some other ways that you can actually cook your foods. And before I do this, I wanted to share with you some of my 4 principles of healthy eating. And I'm just going to actually share these with you because I feel like these are some of my principles that I believe to be true. And I want to share these with you. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, that's okay. But I'm actually going to stop the screen share now and just kind of go through these things with you. Okay, so the 4 principles of healthy eating. Number 1 to me is really, really important, and that is start with fresh whole foods. So whole anything, whole eggs, whole nuts, whole fruits and vegetables, anything whole. Just start whole. You've won half the battle if you just start with whole foods. And as you look to your meals, just start with whole and do at least most of your foods in a whole food form. That's number 1. Number 2 is eat most of what you eat raw, at least 50%, but even try to get it 60 and 70%. If you could just eat most of what you eat raw, meaning a lot of raw fruits and vegetables, especially vegetables. I have found that most people just don't get enough raw in. They're eating all kinds of foods throughout the day, but they don't eat enough raw foods. And I've said this for years. If you were to just change one thing besides drinking a lot of water, eat more raw foods, eat more raw vegetables, especially. This is super, super important because eating raw vegetables is where we get our enzymes and our fiber and our vitamins and minerals, as well as eating whole, like I had mentioned. Eating our whole foods, eating raw foods, we need the fiber, the vitamins and minerals, but we also need the enzymes in our raw foods. And it's super, super important to get those enzymes in a natural form. And that's why we need our raw foods. Okay, number 3 is add essential oils to your foods. Now, a lot of people are not familiar with cooking with essential oils, but let me tell you why. Cooking with essential oils is so important. First of all, they're alkalizing. They stimulate good gut metabolism. So it increases your digestion, your assimilation of your vitamins and minerals. It actually supports your internal organs. And it's also good for digestion. It's good for cleansing and detox. So we have a lot of benefits adding our essential oils to our foods. And I'm going to show you some of that in just a few minutes. So first of all, lime and lemon essential oil. These are our citrus oils. Any of our citrus oils add such great flavor, but they're also, as I mentioned, cleansing and alkalizing. very good for gut detox. And it's nice to be able to add them to a lot of our foods. Now, our herb oils, I'm just showing you a few here tonight. There's a lot of them, but thyme, rosemary, and coriander. These are some of my favorites that that I cook with all the time. They're so good as far as flavor, but they're also good for digestion and good for antioxidants as well as your citrus oils. But they really do aid digestion. And that's why we like these flavors and they're good for us. Now, black pepper is another one. Black and pink pepper are really good to add to your foods. I mean, just like that black pepper, but the black pepper essential oil is so much more powerful. It's very good for curbing your cravings, curbing your appetite. It's good for blood sugar, balancing your blood sugar. It's good for aiding digestion, and it's also a great antioxidant. So all of these oils are great antioxidants, good for digestion, good for metabolism. So why wouldn't we add them to our foods? And they do so much better than just adding spices. They are that much more powerful. Now, there's two things that I like to share always about our essential oils. Don't ever use an essential oil without the supplement fact label on it. You can see there's a supplement fact label on it. Anything that has a supplement fact means it can be taken as a supplement. So I love that doTERRAs have that supplement fact label, and that ensures that they are safe for internal use. Now, the second thing to remember is start with a little bit. I will share some of the recipes that I do, and you only do a few drops. A few drops goes a long ways. So make sure that you're not overdoing it, especially when it comes to your herb oils. A drop of oregano sometimes can be too much for a big pot of soup. A big pot of soup is good, but a small pot of soup, 1 drop of oregano would be overkill. And that's about all you're going to be tasting. So you want to make sure that you are being starting small and adding up, but I will kind of share what I use. Okay. So adding essential oils to me is really, really important. And fourth is using cooking methods with real heat when we need to cook our foods. And we know we need to cook our foods. So I'm going to share with you some of my favorite cooking methods and some of the essential oils that I use along with it and how I do some of these processes. So I'm going to first show you my Instapot. Now you can see this is my Instapot, and I'm going to actually uncover it and bring it over here. Well, before I do that, I'm going to let the steam out. So I love the Instapot. It is the simplest thing to, I mean, it's even more simple than a microwave, but it cooks so quickly and it's so simple. So I'm going to bring this over. It's about release the pressure. Actually, I put chicken in here, and I put 1 chicken breast in here, and I actually sliced it in half. I put a few drops of lime and thyme. These are some of my favorite oils when it comes to meats, but I used another set here that I'll show you just a minute. Lime and thyme is good. So to this, and only 1 chicken breast, I actually did 1 drop of thyme and 3 drops of lime, and then add a little bit of salt in there. And you add about 2 cups of water. And I don't know if you can see this button right here, but it says poultry. So you put it on, you screw the lid on, and you hit poultry. And that's all you do. Half hour later, you've got it ready to eat. And I'm going to open this and show you. What it looks like. So basically, It's tender, tender, tender as can be. And I forgot to get this out of the refrigerator, so you're going to have to forgive me. Hold on just 1 second. I will put this in my mixer with my whips and whip it up, and in 10 seconds, it looks like this. It's so amazing. It's just completely shredded. It's awesome. Or you can cut it up, you can cube it, you can really do a soup. You could cube this before you put it in there and then add it to anything. But it's nice to be able to know that you can cook chicken and there's no work to it. I mean, if you work, you can come home. If your chicken's already thawed, and I've done this even with frozen chicken, just put it in there, add your 2 cups, add some seasonings, and push poultry, put the lid on. The thing that I love about this is in the summertime, I actually do a lot of my cooking outside, and sometimes I forget all about it, but it's self-timing. It goes off when it's done, and then it goes on low, which keeps it warm. So if you forget and 2 hours or 3 hours later, you're going, I forgot. Guess what? No animals can get in it. I go and get it out, and my chicken is safe and cooked, and it's still just kept warm. So it's wonderful. It's a wonderful pot to have. You can cook beans in here. I think that's what I cook more than anything is cooking beans. There's a bean setting on here, but there's stew, soup, broth. Oh, rice is another thing. Oh, so easy. 2 cups of, 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water. And again, just hit rice and it's done in 20 to 25 minutes. It's awesome. So amazing. And I always do long grain brown rice. So it's really fast and easy. And I'm telling you, it's such a great thing to have. So an Instant Pot, like I says, it's a pressure cooker that's timed, and you don't have to worry about it like we used to the pressure cookers in the old days. Okay. Okay, my next thing is a countertop convection oven. So this is my countertop convection oven, and it's plugged in so it doesn't want to move. There are kinds where that looks like real small ovens, but this one's more a round one, and that's kind of where I started with. And years ago, I've had one of these for 30 or 40 years. So I love cooking things in this. And I'll show you what I have in here. Basically, I love doing like sweet potato fries. They are wonderful. They just work up so well. And again, I put a little bit of oil, and I like adding, let's see what did I add with these? Coriander, black pepper, lemon. You know, you just put those sweet potato fries in there, and they're so good. I also put some sliced chicken in here, just so you could kind of see that there's a little bit of a difference. And again, this took only 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And this chicken, I actually did, where did I put it? Lemongrass and ginger. Wow, I must have put them up. Lemongrass and ginger. And again, a couple of drops of each, and about a tablespoon of oil. And I just put the sliced chicken in there, and then added a little bit of salt on it. And again, this cooks up in 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes, actually 13 to 15 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes. So it's great. It's great to be able to put a meal on in 15 minutes. And I love that ability. So that's another way to cook. So I thought I would move this out of the way just a little bit. Plugged in. and doesn't want to go very far. So I would show you another way to cook is actually broiling. Sometimes we've forgotten that we can broil, and it's nice to be able to broil our foods, and they can be done in such a quick time. So basically I'm going to turn on my oven to broil, and while you're doing your preparations, it is preheating. So I have a zucchini that I've actually cut up, and this is butter, and I actually put it in the broil. So I put butter and garlic and a few drops of rosemary, actually 1 drop of rosemary, and I'm going to salt it too, but just turn it in the butter so it's front and back, and then we're just going to put it into broil. Doesn't take hardly any time at all. Okay, I think we can get it in. Okay. So basically, this is what we're looking like. And we're just going to put that into broil. Again, there's butter and fresh garlic and rosemary. And actually, I'm going to sprinkle it with a little bit of salt. Okay. And then we'll put it into broil. And I always put it out in the top rack, and it doesn't take very long to cook. So you want to make sure that you're watching it. So I usually like to set the timer like in 3-minute increments so that you kind of know. I'm really not going to demonstrate this tonight, but another way to quickly cook things is steaming. And these are great for vegetables. Sometimes I think, why do people think it's so difficult to steam, to get out the regular pots and pans? So this is my steamer pot. Just put a little bit of water down the bottom, put your vegetables, green beans, or whatever it is there. And you can even do sliced sweet potatoes or broccoli or whatever you'd like, and put it on. Really, it only takes 8 to 10 minutes. And that's not going to crunch on anybody's time. So literally, there's so many different ways that you can cook foods without having to go to a microwave. And these aren't time consuming at all. They really are quick and simple. And I know it's hard to just go out and buy everything, but let me tell you what I love, being able to have some of these other tools and ovens. So people do ask me, do you have a microwave? And I said, yes, this is my microwave. People are always shocked. Aha, that's where I put all my cookbooks. And it's a wonderful storage place. I know my daughter used to put her purse there, and I'm going, somebody came and to rob her, they'd never think of going to the microwave to find it. Anyway, that's where I keep all my stuff because microwave was here. So anyway, I wanted to just kind of sum it up by just showing you, you can have a full meal, really nice and hearty salad, and you can have some chicken and some sweet potatoes, and I have the zucchini in the oven, and it's going to take a couple more minutes. That's why I tried to pre-cook most of it. But the fact is, you can still have a great meal within just a few minutes. And using these other methods do not take long at all. So I just encourage you to really consider what you're doing and to cook in a much more healthy way. Let me share a little bit what this is so that you know, and this is why it cooks so quickly. It actually blows the heat. So it's blowing. It is not microwave. It is real heat, and it's just basically blowing at the same time as it cooks. The thing that I love about this compared to a regular oven is that this is instant heat and it's blowing heat. So there's no preheat time. And that's why it's so fast, because if we do things in the oven, we have to wait, almost 10 minutes for it to heat up. It's actually blowing in a circular motion. And like I said, it's cooking things a lot faster, but in a much healthier way. And when you think of like baked potatoes, I remember when I started with this, I was so disappointed in the quality of a baked potato. And people say, you can do it in 8 minutes. I'm going, who are you cooking for? Just you? At that time I had all my kids at home, and it's like, okay, we are cooking 8 potatoes, and that's still taking a full hour. And this was taking about 40 minutes. And I'm going, I can cook them faster in here than I can a microwave oven. And they tasted so much better. I don't even like the way that
about when I put them out in our convection oven. Erleen, I was wondering, is that what you use to reheat stuff too then?
Yes, absolutely. This is my favorite for reheating things. You can either steam things, and I steam things a lot for reheating, or just even in a saucepan with a little bit of water. But I love to reheat in this. And I always say, I don't go for like all the prepared freezer stuff, like chicken nuggets and, a lot of those things, fish sticks. But if you do, this is a perfect way to heat as well, because it's keeping the heat there and it's real heat, and everything tastes so much better. It's not all soggy. It's nice and very, very nice. You'll like the flavors.
Thanks.
And the texture. Yep, great question. Thank you for asking me that. Good. Well, let me see if this zucchini is done. Now, if you like it just tender, this is great. If you like it more crisp tender, like fried zucchini, then you'd want to cook it just a little bit more. But this is nice and tender, just kind of that crisp tender there. And it's actually very nice like that. But like I said, you can cook easy without that microwave and be able to ensure that you're getting better quality foods without those microwaves.
What do you think about air fryers?
Air fryer is very, very similar to the counter convection. They cook almost exactly the same. So thank you for asking. That's a great question too, because people that have a convection oven, you don't need an air fryer too. Or if you have an air fryer, you don't need a convection oven, because they're pretty much the same way. And air frying just means it's blown heat. They're also instant heat. I mean, there's no preheat time. If it is, it's 5 seconds or so. But really, the air fryers are very, very similar to a countertop convection oven. So basically, you can get one or the other, and they work great that way. Also, you can see I have a griddle on my stove, and I use that a lot for flat things. So warming tortillas or something. But I found that there's really no reason to have a microwave. We really can cook our meals in such a better way without it. And we have a lot of healthy options in doing so. I thank you so much for being on tonight. And please join me on any of my webinars. I just really want to help people enjoy better health in a variety of ways. And that's why I like to share in a variety of ways that we can be healthier and we can improve in little and big ways, so that we can enjoy longer and more vibrant health.